Close your eyes. I want you to transport your mind to the African savanna. It is high noon. The heat is shimmering off the ground. The air is thick and silent. Hidden in the tall, dry grass lies a lion. Look at him. He is completely motionless. His muscles are coiled like steel cables, but he does not twitch. A fly lands on his nose. He does not blink. The wind blows dust into his mane. He does not move. He is not looking at the clouds. He is not looking at the trees. He is not wondering what the other lions think of him. His entire existence, his body, his mind, his spirit, is channeled into a single, laser-focused point in the distance. The gazelle. He knows that if he breaks his focus for 1 millisecond, if he looks away, if he hesitates, he starves. His cubs starve. The bloodline ends. For the lion, focus is not a productivity hack. Focus is not a soft skill for his resume. Focus is life. Distraction is death. Now, open your eyes. Look at the creature in the mirror. Look at the modern man. What do you see? Do you see a lion, or do you see a nervous, fragmented animal? You sit down to work on your dream. The gazelle you say you want so badly. But within 3 minutes, ding. A notification pops up. A message from a friend. A breaking news alert. A cat video. And just like that, your head turns. Your focus breaks. The energy leaks out. You pick up the phone. You scroll. You swipe. You get a hit of cheap dopamine. 5 minutes pass. 20 minutes pass. An hour passes. When you finally look up, the gazelle is gone. The dream has escaped, and you are left hungry. You tell yourself, I'm just tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I just have a short attention span. This is a lie. You do not have a short attention span. You have a hijacked mind. Listen to the brutal truth that nobody wants to tell you. You are not the hunter in this story. You are the prey. There are trillion-dollar companies, Silicon Valley empires, that have hired the smartest neuroscientists in the world with one specific mission: to hunt you, to hunt your attention, to hunt your time, to hunt your potential. They know exactly how your brain works. They know exactly which color of red to put on the notification badge to make your heart race. They know exactly how to structure the algorithm to keep you scrolling until your eyes bleed. Every time you get distracted, they make money. Every time you lose focus, they feed their families. And you starve yours. This is not a game. This is a war for your soul. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where your energy flows, your life grows. If your attention is scattered, your life is scattered. If your attention is owned by someone else, your life is owned by someone else. You say you want success. You say you want to be a master, but you are trying to build an empire with the attention span of a goldfish. It is biologically impossible. Today, we are going to declare war on distraction. I am not going to give you 5 tips to organize your desk. That is for children. I am going to teach you how to rewire your brain. I am going to teach you the Shaolin art of one-pointedness, Ekagrata. We are going to learn how to starve the distractions that are killing you and feed the focus that will save you. It will be painful. It will require you to kill parts of your old self. But if you stay with me until the end of this video, you will walk away with the eyes of a lion. The hunt begins now. To defeat the enemy, you must first understand the weapon they are using against you. Why is it so hard to focus? Why does it feel physically painful to sit in a quiet room and read a book for 30 minutes? Why do you feel the urge to check your phone even when it hasn't vibrated? It is not because you are lazy. It is because you are addicted. And I use that word scientifically. Let's look at the neuroscience of the thief. Your brain has a chemical called dopamine. In nature, dopamine is designed to reward you for survival activities. You hunt the buffalo. You get dopamine. You build a shelter. You get dopamine. You find a mate. You get dopamine. It is the motivation molecule. It is designed to make you work hard for a reward. But the modern world has hacked this system. When you scroll through TikTok or Instagram or check your email, You get a blast of dopamine without the effort. You didn't hunt the buffalo. You just moved your thumb 1 inch. Swipe, reward, swipe, reward, swipe, reward. This creates what scientists call a dopamine feedback loop. It is exactly the same mechanism as a slot machine in a casino. The uncertainty, will the next video be funny? Will the next message be good? Keeps you pulling the lever again and again. But here is the dangerous part. Here is the tragedy. The more cheap dopamine you flood your brain with, the more your brain adapts. It is called downregulation. Your brain says, "Whoa, there is too much excitement here. I need to turn down the volume." So, it burns off your dopamine receptors. Now, you need more stimulation just to feel normal. This creates a condition I call popcorn brain. Your mind is jumping and popping like corn in a hot pan. It cannot settle. When you try to do deep work, like writing, coding, or studying, it feels boring. It feels slow. Why? Because deep work releases dopamine slowly. It is a slow burn, but your brain is addicted to the explosion. So you feel agitated. You feel anxious. You reach for the phone not because you need it, but because you need the hit. In the Shaolin temple, we call this state Xin Yuan Yima, the monkey mind and the horse will. Imagine a monkey that is drunk. Now imagine that monkey has been stung by a scorpion. It is jumping from branch to branch, screaming, never stopping, completely out of control. This is the state of the average human mind today. You are physically sitting in a chair, but your mind is in 1,000 places at once. You are thinking about the past. You are worrying about the future. You are wondering what strangers are doing on the internet. And while the monkey is jumping, your life is passing you by. You must understand the economic reality of your situation. We live in the attention economy. Data is the new oil, and your attention is the drilling rig. The most brilliant minds of our generation, engineers from MIT, psychologists from Stanford, go to work every day with one goal. How can we keep him on the screen for 10 seconds longer? They test the colors. They test the sounds. They test the timing of the notifications. They are playing chess against your primal brain, and they are winning. They are stealing your focus, selling it to advertisers, and giving you back anxiety and depression in return. It is the worst trade deal in the history of humanity. If you want to be successful, if you want to be a high-value man, you must opt out of this system. You must realize that your focus is your sword. If your sword is dull, if your sword is broken, you cannot fight, you cannot build, you cannot protect. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, you are sharpening the blade. Every time you succumb to the distraction, you are handing your sword to the enemy. So, the first step to recovery is to admit the addiction. Stop calling it multitasking. Stop calling it staying connected. Call it what it is, self-sabotage. You are trading your destiny for pixels, but knowing the enemy is not enough. You must have a strategy to defeat him. You cannot just try harder. Willpower is a battery and it runs out. You need a protocol. You need an environment that makes focus inevitable and distraction impossible. You need to learn the art of passer foam, starvation. You have identified the enemy, the dopamine thief. Now, how do you kill him? You do not fight him with willpower. Willpower is for amateurs. Willpower fails when you are tired. Willpower fails when you are stressed. To kill a distraction, you must do one thing. You must starve it. This brings us to the second gate, the protocol of radical elimination. Think of a bonsai tree. Why is the bonsai so beautiful? Why is it so valuable? Is it because of the leaves that are there? No. It is valuable because of the branches that were cut away. The master gardener looks at the tree and says, "This branch is taking energy from the main trunk. It must go." He does not hesitate. He does not say, "Oh, but maybe I will need this branch later." Snap. He cuts it. He starves the unnecessary to feed the essential. You must become the gardener of your own life. Most people try to manage their distractions. They put the phone on vibrate. They turn down the volume. This is weak. This is feeding the stray cat and hoping it doesn't come back. If you want the focus of a lion, you must be ruthless. Rule number 1, the environmental purge. There was a study done at the University of Texas. They took a group of people and gave them a cognitive test. Group A left their phones in another room. Group B kept their phones in their pockets. Group C kept their phones on the desk, face down. The results were terrifying. Group C, the ones with the phone on the desk, scored significantly lower than Group A. Why? Because even though the phone was off, even though it was face down, part of their brain was constantly scanning it. Part of their brain was whispering, "Is there a message? Is there a threat? Is there a reward?" This is called cognitive leakage. Simply seeing the device makes you stupider. It drops your IQ by 10 points. So, the protocol is simple. When you enter your deep work chamber, whether that is your office or your kitchen table, the phone does not enter with you. It stays in another room. It stays in a drawer. It stays off. You must create a sterile cockpit. Pilots have a rule. Below 10,000 feet, no non-essential conversation. Why? Because a mistake kills them. Treat your work with the same respect. A mistake in focus kills your dream. Rule number 2, the digital fast. You must retrain your brain to tolerate boredom. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the gatekeeper to brilliance. When you are bored, your default network activates. You start to imagine. You start to solve problems. But if you kill boredom with a scroll every time it appears, you never reach the breakthrough. There is a story of a Zen master who had a student obsessed with collecting holy books. The student had hundreds of scrolls. He would read them all day, but he never meditated. He was distracted by the theory of Zen. One winter night, it was freezing cold in the temple. The master stood up, walked to the student's library, took a handful of the holy scrolls, and threw them into the fire. The student screamed, "Master, what are you doing? Those are sacred words!" The master warmed his hands over the fire and said, "The words are not the warmth. The fire is the warmth. You have been collecting maps, but you have never walked the path. Now that the maps are gone, you have no choice but to walk. You are hoarding tabs on your browser. You are hoarding apps. You are hoarding information. Burn it. Delete the apps that steal your soul. Unfollow the people who make you feel inadequate. Turn off the notifications. Create a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you clear out the junk, focus will rush in to fill the space. You might feel fear. But what if I miss something important? Let me tell you the brutal truth. If it is truly important, it will find you. If it is not important, you are lucky to miss it. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is the disease of the slave. The master has the joy of missing out, JOMO. He is happy to miss the noise because he is busy listening to the symphony of his own purpose. Starve the distraction. Let it die. Let it scream. Let it beg. Do not feed it. And once the noise stops, you will finally be ready to feed the beast. Now that you have cleared the field, you must plant the seed. It is not enough to just not be distracted. You must actively engage in deep focus. We call this samadhi, one-pointed concentration, or in modern science, the flow state. Flow is that state where time disappears, where you and the task become one, where the lion catches the gazelle. But here is the secret that nobody tells you. Flow is not magic. Flow is biology, and there is a specific entry code. Most people never enter flow because they quit too early. The cycle of flow has 4 phases. Phase 1, struggle. Phase 2, release. Phase 3, flow. Phase 4, recovery. The problem is, Phase 1, the struggle. When you first sit down to write, or code, or train, it feels awful. Your brain resists. It releases stress hormones, cortisol. It says, "This is hard, this is boring. Let's go check Instagram." This is the dopamine withdrawal. 99% of people quit here. They feel the struggle and think, "Oh, I'm just not inspired today." No, the struggle is not a sign to stop. The struggle is the cost of entry. You must push through the agitation. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes of pain to break through the wall. If you can survive the first 20 minutes of boredom, the brain gives up. It switches gears. It releases nitric oxide. It flushes out the cortisol and releases endorphins and dopamine. Suddenly, click, you are in the zone. The words fly. The ideas connect. You are the lion. To help you get past the struggle, I am going to give you a tool right now. We are going to reset your nervous system. If you are feeling scattered watching this, if your mind is jumping, we are going to fix it. Sit up straight. Put your feet on the ground. We will use the box breathing technique used by Shaolin monks and Navy SEALs to stabilize the mind. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Do it with me now. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Fill the belly. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Stillness. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Release the tension. Hold. 2, 3, 4. The void. Again. Inhale. Power. Hold. Clarity. Exhale. Distraction. Hold. Peace. Open your eyes. Notice the difference? That took 20 seconds. You didn't need a pill. You didn't need an app. You just needed to take control of your biology. Whenever you feel the urge to quit during the struggle phase, do this. It is the bridge to flow. But remember, focus is not just a technique. It is a lifestyle. It is a repetition. There is an old Chinese story about the archer and the oil seller. A famous archer was practicing in the village square. He shot 3 arrows, and they all hit the bullseye, splitting the previous arrow in half. Thwack! 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 The crowd cheered. "You are a god! You are a genius!" The archer was proud, puffing out his chest. But an old oil seller was standing in the back. He just nodded and said, "It is nothing special, just the result of practice." The archer was furious. "You old fool! How dare you insult my skill? Can you do this?" The oil seller didn't speak. He put a gourd bottle on the ground. Then, he placed a coin with a square hole on top of the bottle. He stood up, took a ladle of oil, and poured it from high above his head. The oil flowed in a thin, perfect stream, straight through the hole of the coin, filling the bottle without spilling a single drop. The coin remained dry. The crowd was silent. That was impossible. The oil seller looked at the archer and smiled. "It is nothing special, just the result of practice." This is the feed. You feed your focus by doing the same thing over and over again, until it becomes boring for others, but spiritual for you. The archer shoots, the oil seller pours. The writer writes, "There is no magic pill. There is only the repetition. You must fall in love with the boredom of repetition. That is where the mastery lives. But to reach this level, to have the time and the energy to become the oil seller, you have to pay a price. And this price is social. This price is emotional. Most people are not willing to pay it. We have reached the final gate, and this is the gate where most people turn back, because this gate requires a payment. You have learned to starve the cheap dopamine. You have learned to endure the struggle of deep work. You have learned the repetition of the oil seller. But now, you must learn to live apart from the herd. The fourth truth is this: focus requires solitude, and solitude is expensive. Look at the lion. The lion is the king of the jungle, not just because he is strong, but because he is willing to walk alone. The sheep are always in a flock. They are huddled together, heads down, eating the same grass, terrified of being separated. They find safety in numbers. They find comfort in noise. But the lion? The lion hunts alone, or with a very small, elite pride. He is comfortable with the silence. He is comfortable with the space. If you commit to this path of extreme focus, if you commit to starving your distractions, your social life will change. People will call you boring. Your friends, the ones who only bond over gossip, drinking, and video games will stop calling you. They will say, "You changed. You are too serious. You are obsessed." And they are right. You are obsessed, and that is a compliment. You must understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. It is a state of lack. It is empty. You feel lonely when you need validation from others, and you cannot get it. The distracted man feels lonely even in a crowded room because he is disconnected from himself. Solitude is the glory of being alone. It is a state of abundance. It is full. You feel solitude when you are so connected to your purpose, so in love with your craft, that you do not need the noise of the world to feel complete. In the Shaolin temple, we spend weeks in silence. To the outsider, it looks like punishment. To the monk, it is paradise. Because in that silence, the voice of the world fades away, and the voice of the intuition becomes a roar. You must be willing to lose the friends who only like you when you are distracted. You must be willing to miss the party to build the empire. You must be willing to be the one who leaves the phone in the car while everyone else is scrolling at the dinner table. You will look like the outcast. You will look like the weirdo. But remember this, the crown is heavy. That is why so few people wear it. If you want to live like the 1%, you cannot act like the 99%. The 99% are distracted. The 99% are anxious. The 99% are feeding on digital junk food. Do not hate them. Have compassion for them, but do not join them. Protect your cave. Find that time in the morning before the world wakes up to be with your thoughts. Find that time late at night to sharpen your sword. It is in these lonely hours that the legend is built. The applause comes later. The crowd comes later. But the work, the real work, is done in the dark, when only you and the universe are watching. So, look at your life right now. Look at the phone in your hand. Look at the tabs on your screen. Look at the people draining your energy. They are not your friends. They are the cage that keeps the lion small. We have spoken for 35 minutes. In this time, the average person has checked their phone 10 times. They have switched tasks 5 times. They have forgotten what they started doing. But you are still here. You have focused. You have listened. You have proven that you have the capacity for depth. Now you have a choice. You can close this video and go back to the feed. You can go back to the dopamine slot machine. You can go back to being the prey. Or you can declare war. You can decide right now that your attention is your property, not Mark Zuckerberg's, not the news media's, yours. You can decide to become the archer, to become the oil seller, to become the master. The world is starving for focus. The world is desperate for leaders who can think deeply, solve complex problems, and create real value. The competition is low because everyone else is distracted. If you can just sit still, if you can just hold the gaze, you win. I want you to make a contract with your soul today, not a wish, a contract. I want you to turn off this video. I want you to put your phone in another room. And I want you to do 1 hour of deep work on your biggest dream. No music, no tabs, no excuses, just you and the work. But before you go, leave your signature on the contract. Leave a mark in the comments below to seal this pact. Write these 4 words. Let the world know that the lion has woken up. Write, I am the hunter. Do not let them feed on you anymore. You are the king of the jungle. Act like it. Starve the distraction.